Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with the next part of What If Naruto Was Raised by Jiraya and Tsunade. And before continuing this part, I would like you to know that I'm thinking of dropping the series What If Naruto A Mother's Love. Most of you guys don't watch it, and yeah, guys, I think the series is dead in your eyes. I mean, the story is good, but most of you don't like it though because it's a slow-paced story, and I get it. So let me know in the comments if you want me to continue it or not. And if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and without further ado, let's continue with our story. 11 years after the QB attack, 2 years has passed since Jiraiya had implemented his education reform in the Ninja Academy, raising the standards significantly. Many students were able to keep with the new standards for long, so they dropped out and moved to civilian schools. As a result, Naruto class was reduced to merely 12 students. Naruto, Hinata, Sasuke, and Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, Shion, Tamaki, Haku, and Karin were the only one left. Of these 12, Sakura was the only one not being from the ninja family. Technically speaking, Tamaki didn't have a family ninja either, but she had the benefit of being raised by the ninja cats. But this didn't deter her. After all, she was the best kunoichi of her class. That didn't last long. In fact, these 2 years were horrible for the Pink Cat. As the classes moved on from less theory to a field in which Sakura excelled thanks to her book smarts to a more special approach, Sakura grades started to fall. While she was pretty good at chakra control and a few other classes that still required the study books, on everything else she was a total mess. While she was moderately good at Kuna and Shuriken toss, she found that it was much harder to do it with moving targets and or so when she had to move. While she mastered the 3 E-rank jutsus with little difficulty, D-rank gave her a harder time, and obstacle courses were simply a nightmare for her. But the worst part was Taijutsu's part. Just like Naruto marked Sasuke as his rival, Sakura did the same with Hinata. But while Naruto was slowly closing the gap with the Uchiha each time the Pink Cat and the Blue Nets clashed, Hinata took each time less effort to defeat Sakura. After admitting that Hinata was too strong for her to beat, Sakura lowered her standards and aimed to defeat her former friend turned rival Ino. But the results were the same. Even if Ino wasn't so skilled or strong as Hinata, Ino still ended up kicking her ass. It didn't help that, unlike Hinata, who actually showed some restraint, Ino took sadistic glee in beating Sakura. Given that Tamaki was aiming to become a close quarter fighting combat, she didn't even attempt to fight her either. So far, the only other Konoichi that she managed to beat from the time to time was Karin. And even then, her victories were short-lived, as Karin also managed to surpass her over time. Ino even replaced her usual forehead girl nickname to a pink punching bag, and her parents suggested her that maybe she wasn't cut to become a konoichi and think in other possible career paths, but she could ignore Ino's taunts and her parents' discouragement. What she could ignore, however, was the very way Sasuke looked at her whenever she lost, the look of disdain fully in his eyes, barely acknowledging her. She couldn't stand that. Sakura always excelled without even trying, so the idea of training outside the academy was foreign to her. Still, she decided that if she wanted to catch up with her teammates and classmates, she needed to improve and fast. Unfortunately, her additional training and study hours were very little help. And one day, after another painful and humiliating taijutsu spar, Sakura couldn't take it anymore. She ran away from academy crying, not even caring that the bell didn't ring or the fact that she forgot her backpack. She ran, not caring when she left the class or where she was going either. Of all the people she bumped into, her legs carried her to the park, which was devoid of children, given the time of the day. Out of breath, Sakura merely dropped herself at the base of the tree and started to cry her eyes out. Maybe they're right. I'm not meant for this, Sakura thought. Nata has the Byakugan and her clan's taijutsu style. Pig has her clan's taijutsu and jutsus as well. Tamaki has her cats, and Karin has her sensor abilities and can heal people. What do I have that makes me stand out, or even make me useful at all? Are you okay? A voice asked behind her. Sakura turned around, wiping her tears from her eyes. In front of her was Naruto, flanked by Karin and Hinata. She instantly noticed that Hinata was holding her backpack. How did you find me? The Pink Cat asked. Karin raised her head. Sensor, remember? Sakura, you ran away before the class ended. What happened? Naruto asked as he crouched beside her. Why do you care? Sakura spat at him, making Naruto flinch. Hey, that's not a good way to talk to somebody who asks if you're okay, Karin shot back. You look pretty upset. It's because taijutsu spar are hard to you, isn't it? Naruto asked. No. Yes, I mean, it's not just that. Sakura said between her sob. I used to be the best girl of the class, without even trying, but then your stupid dad had to change everything. Now I'm at the bottom. Naruto's soft face turned into angry frown. Hey, don't blame my dad for wanting to make us stronger. Yes, it's easy for you to say. Have not one, but two legendary ninjas training you. Everybody has somebody who can train them, but not me. Hey, my mom knows some medical ninjutsu and a couple of clan jutsus, but she sucks at everything else. Kani said in disagreement. Then, how did you got so much better than me at Taijutsu? Naruto offered me to train alongside him, being from the same clan and all that, remember? She explained, but Naruto is like your cousin or something, right? Then my point still stands. Well, you could train with us if you wanted. Naruto offered. Sakura opened her eyes wide in shock. Really? But I'm not part of your family, remember? So, Naruto failed to see the problem. Neither is Hinata, and we trained together many times. Well, don't clans only train their own members? Sakura asked. Yeah, most of them do that, but that doesn't mean we couldn't help other people too. Besides, it's not that we will reveal you clan secrets or anything. Sakura stared at Naruto in disbelief. Why are you helping me? I mean, it's not that we are friends or anything. We hardly speak to each other. Because I'm going to be Hokage, and a Hokage has to care for all of his people, not just your friends and family. And I can't stand seeing a smart girl like you like this. Besides, it's obvious that you need some help. Karin added, adjusting her glasses. Naruto-kun was going to teach us something that he said it was good for people with good chakra control. Maybe you could join us and learn it. Hinata asked. Sakura smiled as she stood up. Really? That would be great. In that case, go to training ground 3 tomorrow after class. Don't be late, Naruto said as he turned back and left. Karin left as well. Naruto, on the other hand, approached Sakura and handed her her backpack. You forgot this. Oh, thank you. Sakura wiped her tears and accepted her returning backpack. Sakura-san, may I ask you something? Naruto asked. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, maybe it's not my place to ask, but what did make you want to become a ninja? Sakura was taken aback by Hinata's question. Looking back, she couldn't remember the reason for her to join. That wasn't good. She thought that maybe it was to impress Sasuke, but that couldn't be it since she didn't met Sasuke until later. But the reason, yes, she remembered. She wanted to become a ninja when she was little, but that was just a stupid childish dream. She had cast it aside. I don't remember, Sakura sheepishly said. Hinata looked thoughtful. And do you still want to be a ninja? Yes, I do. Why? What do you want to accomplish? Being a ninja isn't an end, but a mean to an end. I want to become a ninja so I can be the leader of my clan. Someday, Naruto-kun wants to become a ninja to become Hokage. Why do you want to become a ninja, Sakura? Sakura once again looked inside her mind for an answer but found nothing. Well, she did find something. Sasuke Uchiha. A boy I wanted to become a ninja so I can impress a boy who's already stronger than I ever be. Sakura thought, but she clearly wasn't going to tell her that. Is it because Sasuke-san? Hinata guessed. Sakura suddenly turned around and jumped back from Hinata. Why do you think that? And what if it's true? It is wrong to like a boy. Everybody knows that you love to be more than friends with Naruto. Hinata turned red and as well and yelped. Was that so obvious? But then again, Naruto didn't notice how she felt either. That's besides the point. Hinata stuttered, making an effort not to avert Sakura's accusatory gaze. Yeah, I like Naruto-kun, but unlike you, I didn't neglect my training for the sake of misguided attempts at impressing him. Sakura gasped at Hinata's accusation, but rather than anger, she felt sadness, for she knew that Hinata was telling the truth. How much time did she spend trying clothing and new hairstyles in order to draw her attention that could have been invested in training? Tears started to form in her eyes. Seeing this, Hinata realized that she went too far. Sorry, Sakura-san, I didn't mean to be so hurtful. No, you're right, Sakura replied, fighting back the tears. I'm a mess of a ninja. All I did was fawn over Sasuke-kun, like a fangirl, while the rest of you actually improved and got stronger. Well, it's not too late to improve. I mean, you're really smart and the best of chakra control of all of us you have. I think you'll make a wonderful Konoichi, Sakura-san. This managed to make Sakura smile again. You think so? Hinata nodded. You only need to find something to apply your strength. In that case, I'll work hard to show everybody that I can be a ninja, even if I don't have a clan, Sakura stated, clenching her fist with determination. Then she looked at Hinata in her eyes. Thank you for cheering me up, Hinata. You're a real sweetie. No wonder Naruto likes to hang out with you. Hinata smiled in return. Sakura continued eyeing her. And with a little wardrobe upgrade, you could be his girlfriend in no time. Hinata's face pretty much invented a new shade of red. What? Oh, come on. Drop the cute innocent girl act, Hinata. You're not fooling anyone. Well, except Naruto, at least. Sakura teased. What's wrong with my clothes? Hinata asked as she looked at herself. For starters, why do you hide yourself behind this coat? It's not even cold. Well, flashback. In the Yuga compound's dojo, Hinata was sparring against her mother, just like she did every day for her gentle fist practice. Suddenly, her mother stopped attacking and stared at her in silence. Hinata grew nervous. Mother? It is. There's something wrong? Hikari smiled. Oh, nothing, honey. It's just that I think I should buy you a bra. Didn't expect you to develop so soon. Nana turned bright red and instinctively covered her chest with her arms. End of the flashback. I like this coat. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, thanks for the talk again and for bringing me my backpack. See you tomorrow. Sakura cheerfully said as she walked away. Link break. Meanwhile, at downtown Konoha, you have no rights to do this. Sasuke angrily protested. Shut up. Just get out of here before I call an Anbu. A shopkeeper replied just as heatedly, if not more. After the day of the failed Uchiha insurrection, the three remaining Uchihas had become pharaohs in Konoha. People would glare at them, murmur between them whenever an Uchiha was present, though they sometimes were loud enough for their insults to be heard, and treat them with scorn and contempt. Sasuke had learned to ignore all of the above and live with it as he could, but this was the first time they treated him with such an open hostility. Sasuke noticed that he was starting to outgrow most of his clothes, so he decided to buy new ones. However, the moment he tried to enter a store that caught his attention, the shopkeeper, a bald man in his 40s with a mustache, wasted no time to kick him out. As the two of them loudly argued, a small crowd built around them, mostly to enjoy the speculate, but some also joined the argument and threw some insult at Sasuke. Naturally, it didn't take too long before a couple of Anbus arrived to see what was causing the commotion. What's going on here? An Anbu with a ferret mask asked as he made his way through the crowd. Oh, thank Kami you're here. Please take this demon away from my store. The storekeeper demanded the Anbu while pointing at Sasuke. You can't do that. This man just kicked me out of his store for no reason. Sasuke protested. No reason. You're an Uchiha. That's all the reason I need. The shopkeeper replied. I see. The other Anbu, who was wearing a bear mask, calmly placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. Now everybody calm down, we're going to fix this. Everybody was expected to Anbu to take Sasuke away, but much to everybody's shock, the ferret mask Anbu slammed the shopkeeper against a wall and handcuffed on his wrist. What the hell are you doing? The shopkeeper angrily demanded. You yourself admitted to refuse services to a ninja of this village based on his clan alone. That is a clear violation of the clan discrimination bill, hence you're under arrest. The Anbu explained as he dragged him away. What? My wife was killed by those red-eyed bastards, and you take their side? The shopkeeper angrily shouted. You will regret this, both of you and the Hokage. You can't expect us to live side by side with those traitors. Release him. He did nothing wrong. A random villager said. Yes, take the Uchiha instead. Kill all of them before they betray us again. Another villager added. Enough. The bear-masked Anbu bellowed. Everybody scatter or you will be arrested as well. The warning was effective and people quietly resumed with what they were doing. Before the incident happened, the bear-masked Anbu was about to ask Sasuke if he was okay, but he noticed that the young Uchiha had already left. Link break. The next day, after class, Sasuke headed towards Training Ground 3, where Naruto, Hinata, and Karin were already waiting for her. Sakura. They were standing in front of a very large rock. Alright, everybody is here, so we can start now. Naruto enthusiastically announced as he looked at Sakura. Naruto, don't get me wrong. I'm really thankful that you're teaching us this, but I hope you don't expect us, or at least me, to address you as sensei. Sakura stated. What? Oh no, I'd be crappy sensei anyway. At least until I get stronger. Naruto replied, rubbing the back of his head. You see, this is Mom's super strength secret technique. It is very simple. All you have to do is gather chakra on your fist and release it like this. Naruto then punched the rock behind him, leaving a small crack. See? Wow, that is amazing. Karin gushed. Does it hurt? Hinata asked. A little. That's why you are also needed to keep some chakra in order to shield your hands from the backlash. My chakra control is still far from perfect, but yours is much better. Why don't you give it a try? Naruto moved aside from the rock in order to leave the three girls enough space. The first one to go was Karin. She was as natural as Naruto instructed. She gathered her chakra on the fist and pointed the rock, leaving a bigger crack than Naruto. However, she also shook her fist in pain once she was done. Ah, you said it didn't hurt. Karin protested as she nursed her damaged hand. I didn't say that. Did you remember to use some chakra to counter the backlash? Naruto asked. Karin then shook her head. I thought so. Naruto said in deadpan. The next one to try was Hinata. However, she looked rather hesitant. Naruto-kun, is it okay for you to teach us this? I mean, you said it is not a Sama's technique that is secret to her only. And don't worry, Mom told me I can teach to my friends if I want to. Naruto assured, grinning widely. Then his screen disappeared and added, but don't teach this to other people without asking me first, okay? And you can't teach this to Sasuke. I don't want to give him more weapons to use against me. Actually, if Sasuke could wanted to learn this, all what he had to do is copy it with his Sharingan. Sakura flatly stated, much to Naruto's horror. Noticing the blonde's distress, the pink cat added, but I don't think he will. Sasuke usually favors ninjutsu and armed combat over his bare fist. Well, let's hope that he doesn't think about doing it. Come on, Hinata, show me what you can do. The Yuga added and nodded and walked towards the rock. Clenching her fist, she gathered chakra, remembering Naruto's warning about the backlash, and pointed the rock with all her might. She managed to make a crack slightly bigger than Karin's, and unlike the redhead, she managed to avoid hurting her head. Well done, Hinata! Naruto cheered with a smile. Thanks. You know, I think I may find a way to combine this with my gentle fist. Hinata nodded, mostly to herself. She was already working to combine elemental ninjutsu to the gentle fist, and if she also managed to combine both, the result would be devastating. My turn, Sakura confidently said as she walked towards the rock. After mentally checking all the steps of the technique, she punched the rock. Whoa, the three voices said in unison. Sakura managed to make a crack in the rock twice as bigger as Karin and Hinata. Plus, she managed to pretty much sink her whole fist into the rock. Everybody, including Sakura, couldn't believe just what happened. Holy shit! That was amazing! Naruto shrieked, utterly perplexed. Dumbfounded, Sakura slowly removed her fist from the hole she just created. She stared at her unharmed hand for a whole minute, while her brain tried to process what just happened. Once her actions started to sink in, Sakura's mouth curved into a smile. Wow, look at this! Sakura beamed, pointing at the hole in the rock. Oh boy, I can't wait to show this to everybody else in the academy. Oh, I can't wait to have a rematch against Ino. Let's see how does she like to be a ping punching bag. Sakura said, following a rather disturbing laughter. Naruto, did you think she's going mad with power? Karin asked, visibly worried. Well, I believe it is rush of having a new technique. It should wear off soon, the blonde replied as he continued watching Sakura making holes in the rock. And if she doesn't? Hinata asked fearfully. Yes, I'm Sakura the Unstoppable, Sakura the Invincible. Tremble, everybody, and despair. Your doom has come to this world. Muhahaha. After reducing the rock to rubble, Sakura then decided to take after some trees. Dad said that the land of Crescent Moon is really nice place to live. Naruto replied, just as scared. Link break. Fortunately, just like Naruto said, Sakura went mad with power and calmed down the moment she exhausted her chakra, and after taking down a dozen trees, after saying their goodbyes and agreeing on a date for the next training session together, the four children headed for their respective houses. On his way, there was something that caught Naruto's attention. Sitting on a small pier on the Naka River was none other than Sasuke Uchiha, his hands crossed under his chin, looking absent-mindedly at the orange and yellow reflection of the descending sun in the water. Sasuke was never the more social person to begin with, but since the Uchiha coup 3 years ago, Sasuke had become even more quiet and asocial. Talking to him had the same effect as talking to a wall, and he usually lashed out at those who instead insisted on making him talk. Then again, Naruto could never understand what the boy was going through. Not only he had lost his entire family in a single night, but on top of that, the standing of his once proud clan was lower than dirt. Itachi got a pass since there was multiple witnesses to his act and how he was instrumental in stopping the insurrection and saving the third Hokage, but Sasuke and Shisui were pretty much the new village para. And while Shisui managed to ignore the cold stares and murmurs and the passive hostility, Sasuke was too young and didn't have the emotional maturity to deal with it. And as such, he decided to close himself to the world. He had seen Sasuke like this many times, but for some reason never had the courage to go and talk to him. And given how he helps Sakura today, Naruto thought that maybe helping Sasuke was beyond his power. Making his decision, the blonde Jinchuriki walked towards the youngest Uchiha. "Hey, Sasuke!" Naruto shouted. Sasuke didn't even turn back to look at him. "Go away, idiot. I don't want to spar with you now." "What? Oh, come on. You didn't even let me finish. I just wanted to talk, okay? I didn't come here to fight." "I don't want to talk either," Sasuke scoffed. "You know you've been pretty cranky since, well, you know." Naruto rubbed his arms and looked sideways, even if Sasuke wasn't even looking at him. "And you think you can help me?" "Yes, I can, of course," Naruto excitedly replied. "Alright, tell me, did you ever lost most of your family in a single night? Yet you have absolutely no one to blame for their death. And on top of that, people want you to pay for their crimes." No, I'm afraid not." "Then we have nothing to talk about. Now leave me alone." "But I know what it feels being blamed for stuff that isn't your fault." This made Sasuke to finally turn around. "Really? How? Did you forget that I have a QB sealed inside of me?" Naruto asked as he pointed at his stomach. "There are a lot of people who fear me because they believe that I will let the QB out one day and destroy Konoha. Other hates me for the people they lost during the attack. Even if I'm merely the container for QB, my parents told me that they hate me because they need something to vent their hate. And I'm the easiest target, and that's what the people who lost their loved ones during the insurrection, like Ino, are doing with you and your remaining family. And you suffer because you want to lash out at somebody, but you don't have anybody to vent your frustration with. What about you? Don't you get frustrated? Don't you want to lash out at the people who mistreated you and hated you?" "Of course I do. Many times. But I have something else that helps me deal with it. My family and friends. And I believe you have that too." Sasuke looked down pensively. Suddenly, he felt really guilty for the cold treatment he had been giving both Itachi and Shisui, despite the fact that they only wanted to help him. Maybe he should make something to compensate them. "Why are you telling me this? Do you want me to be your friend all of a sudden?" Sasuke asked skeptical. "Yeah," Naruto's smile was sincere. "If you have a problem, you can count on me with some help." Sasuke remained a few seconds silent, looking at his feet. I'll think about it," Sasuke muttered. He then stood up, placed his hands on his pocket, and walked away. "I need to go home now." Naruto watched him go. Well, that went better than what he was originally planning to do. Lingered many months later, and once more the school year came to an end. Naruto has his 11 classmates managed to pass the exam, which besides the usual theory included the 3 basic E-rank jutsus, even if they were also present in the exam of the previous year. Taijutsu and Kunai and Shuriken toss. This meant that all of them would pass into the next course of year, which hopefully would be their last, before finally becoming a real ninja. After being congratulated by Iruka, the 12 kids gathered their gear in their backpacks and left as usual. Naruto was walking with Hinata and Haku. "Hey, today's my dad is going to give me some new training. Wanna tag along?" Naruto asked his 2 friends. "Love to, but I can't. My family and I are going to celebrate Neji Nisan's graduation and becoming a ninja," Hinata said and bite down. "But now that we have a few weeks off, I'm sure we can find time to hang out soon, Naruto-kun." Naruto looked at her puzzled. "How did you know that Neji passed already? The final exam has been just now. Neji Nisan is a prodigy, and thus I believe it's unlikely he failed the exam. In fact, he was even aiming to graduate as a Rookie of the Year." Naruto let out a whistle. He already knew that Neji was strong, but not that strong. Pushing those thoughts aside, he looked at the Ice Ninja. "What about you, Haku?" "Like Hinata-san, I have plans. Today is Friday, which means that I can visit Zabuza somewhere in jail. 1 more year and he'll be out of the prison." The girl-looking boy replied, "Maybe another day." Naruto looked down. "Man, what a drag. Well, in that case, what the hell?" When the trio exited the academy, they were greeted by an impossible image. Despite being 2 in the afternoon and the sun was setting, and on top of that they could hear the sounds of waves crashing, despite the fact that the nearest beach was more than 200 kilometers away from Konoha. "This is mostly unusual," Haku said, inspecting the scene. Naruto activated her Byakugan. "This doesn't appear to be a Kenjutsu. My Byakugan can't see through it." Before Naruto could say anything, he was interrupted by a pair of loud voices that came from somewhere near them. He could swear they came from within the academy. "It was thanks to you that I could graduate, Kai-sensei." "Nonsense! It was you who did all the hard work. I only gave you some pointers." "Kai-sensei, Lee! Kai-sensei, Lee! Kai-sensei, Lee!" "Okay, I think I'm going to get out of here before things get even weirder, Naruto said as he trailed off. Haku and Hinata did likewise. Link break. Konoha's prison. Haku was sitting on the table, flanked by his legal guardian, Yugao and Hayate, who were close behind him. At the other side of the table was Zabuza wearing his prison uniform with shackles on both his wrists and ankles. Good afternoon, Zabuza-sama. How have you been? I last came to visit you, the ice ninja said. Same as always. The food is trash, the company is even worse, and I can't start a fight without being thrown into solitary confinement for a week. Both are back, but other than that, I'm fine. The demon dove mist replied. This will end soon. Next year I will be a ninja, and the Hokage will have to release you under probation. That if he keeps his word. Of course he will. Yugao slammed her fist on the table. How dare you doubt the word of Hokage? Trust me, girl, being a Kage isn't something that makes him deserve my trust, or anybody's trust. For that matter, I learned that the hard way. He had to clear his throat after coughing a few times. I don't know how things are in Kirigakure, but in Konoha we tend to keep our promises and deal. Well, it's just that I know how much you guys like bloodline limits, and Haku is especially powerful. I really find hard to believe that he will let us go that easily once I finally finish my probation. Like Hayate-kun said, things are different here. Do as you're told, and there won't be any troubles. Yugo said, we'll see about that. Zabuza said, redirecting his attention to Haku. What about you? Are they treating you good? Haku mouth curved into a smile. Yes, I made a few friends in the academy. Yugao-san and Hayate-san are really kind to me, and I can show my powers without being afraid of being persecuted. Konoha is a nice place. It's good that at least one of us enjoying their stay here. Zabuza mentioned, smart, really smart, Jiraya, he thought in his head. Haku seemed to catch Zabuza's thought and his expression turned serious, but that doesn't mean that my loyalty towards you have wavered in the slightest. Once you finish your probation, I will go follow you should you choose to leave Konoha. Zabuza smirked, wearing his sharp teeth. Good. Good to hear that. They continued to talk for quite some time. Haku talked about the training he was getting from both academy and his legal guardians, though Zabuza constantly claimed that he would make a much better job. Zabuza also told him that little novelties that went in prisons from that last time the Ice Ninja came to visit until they finally hit the 45 minutes mark and Zabuza was brought to his cell. While they headed back home, Yugao couldn't hold her tongue about certain topic. You know, Haku-kun, I never understand how much a kind boy like you could be so loyal to a bloodthirsty criminal. I told you that Zabuza-sama saved me from... Yeah, we know, the Purple Hill woman interrupted. But still, the way he talks about you as if you only exist to serve him and your feelings don't matter. Why does it never bother you? It's a small price to pay compared to my previous situation. What about you, Gao-chan, and myself? Don't we treat you good during these years? Yade asked. Yes, you've done an admirable effort taking care of me, and I will always be grateful for that. Yade frowned. Yet if you had to choose between us and Zabuza, you will choose him. Undoubtedly. Haku answered left was definite. But why? That's what we can't understand, Yugao said in bleeding eyes. Because he has the first to acknowledge me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. That's why I have a debt with him that I will never be able to pay. Do you love him? Yes, he's the most important person to me. I see then. Do you think he loves you back? Haku averted his gaze. That's irrelevant. You didn't answer my question. Yugao was going to let that issue go easily. Haku stuttered something unintelligible before he gave his answer. I don't know. I think he does. And do you want him to love you? Haku felt as if he was trying to force the words out of his mouth. Yes. Then why don't you ask him that the next time we come to visit him? Yata suggested. I'll think about it. Can we talk about something else now, please? Haku asked with bleeding eyes. Yes, I believe we give you enough help for that. So do you want to have dinner at home or do you want to go out and have dinner with us? Link break. Training round 3. Alright, Naruto. This is your last year at the academy. So we will have to make sure that you'll be, by the time at graduation, good enough to become a chunin. The only thing you'll need then will be experience, and this will come with the missions. Jiraiya explained to Naruto, now show me what you can do before we move on to something new, okay? Naruto and Jiraiya spent half an hour sparring while the told sage comments about things that Naruto had improved and other that he needed to work out. Then he asked Naruto to make him a demonstration of his ninjutsu skills. First, the 3 E-rank ninjutsus. Naruto had finally learned to do a body replacement without needing to do a hand seals and later a few windjutsus. So how is it? Naruto asked expectantly. Pretty good, but then again, it's no surprise given that you have such an awesome teacher like myself. I am the Hokage after all, Jiraiya said, with a self-aggrandizing air. Though your mom helps as well. Naruto was about to retort when a realization dawned on him. Hey, I just realized something, Naruto said, narrowing his eyes at Jiraiya. Shouldn't you be at the Hokage Tower? How come you're here? And have some time to spar with me and train me? Oh, you noticed? Jiraiya asked with a foxy grin. You took your sweet time, and before you started throwing accusations, the answer is that I'm not the real Jiraiya, but I've cloned. The real one is back at the tower working. Technically, the real Jiraiya was in a secret room in the tower writing the next Uchiha installment, while another couple of clones worked on the paperwork. A clone? But I mean, I can touch you. You mean that I'm solid? Yeah, because I'm not a normal clone, but a shadow clone. Not only am solid, but I possess all the knowledge and jutsus for the real Jiraiya. And all the knowledge I gain will be sent to Jiraiya once I'm dispelled. Whoa, that jutsu is so cool! And how durable are you? It depends, but shadow clones are usually rather fragile, and a stronger hit is enough to dispel them. Still, Jiraiya clones are rather sturdy, and nothing less than a stab will dispel them. Well, and do the pain of the clones go back to the original one too? No, just the knowledge. Okay, then let me try something, Naruto said as he pushed out a kunai in his pouch. Hey kid, what are you? But the Jiraiya clone did time to react before Naruto sank a kunai in his chest, exploding in a cloud of smoke. 10 minutes later, Jiraiya, or better said, another clone reappeared. Seriously, Brad? Don't do that again. Jiraiya shouted in a scolding. We're wasting a lot of time. Not to mention that seeing you try to kill me was disturbing as hell. Can you teach me that jutsu? Naruto asked, staring eyes at him. This is a forbidden jutsu that is only taught by Jonin. Jiraiya replied. Naruto's story vanished from his eyes, but then again, it's heavy chakra cost. And since you have very more chakra than average Genin, I don't see why I shouldn't. The starry eyes returned once again on Naruto's eyes. The Toad Sage explained the process, which was surprisingly simple for a forbidden ninjutsu, that is. Once Naruto heard the explanation, he formed a cross with the index finger and middle fingers from both hands and made his first attempt. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 15 Naruto clones appeared from just a small cloud explosion. Jiraiya looked at his display speechless. Holy shit, Brad. I knew you had a lot of chakra, but this is way too much. Jiraiya shouted in shock, uncautiously stumbling back. Hell, I have pretty much big chakra reserves that I can't make more clones than 6. Naruto grinned. I can do more if you want to. No, it's okay, boy. If I knew this, I could have thought of taughting you this earlier. This is going to accelerate your training big time. Naruto tilted his head. Come again? Brad, did you forget already what I said about the original retaining the knowledge of the clones? Wait, so that means I could have 5 clones learning 5 different jutsus at the same time. And thus I learn 5 jutsus in time it takes to learn 1. Jiraiya smiled. You got it right. Naruto looked at his birthday and just arrived. Oh boy, this is awesome. Now I'm going to be more awesome ninja who can even become more awesome with this. Whoever lived in no time, come on, teach me something else. I like your enthusiasm, kid. Your dad was just as eager to learn as you are, and thus I believe it's time you learn a jutsu that is pretty much a family tradition. How about you like the idea of summoning an animal companion to help you in the battle? Think break. Many months later, and once again a new school year began. One of the perk of Jiraiya reforms was the introduction of the optional subjects, which would help the future Genins to choose their specialization as soon as possible. That means that for a couple of hours, the students wouldn't be together in the same class for training grounds. Medical Ninjutsu Course Konoha Hospital. Welcome everybody to my class. I'm sure everybody knows me. I'll introduce myself nonetheless. My name is Tsunade Senju, and as you guessed, I'll be your medical ninjutsu teacher. The slug sounded now staring at 5 students. Now, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me why you are interested in medical ninjutsu? I think I will go first, Sakura said. She cleared her throat. My name is Sakura Haruno. I know that medical ninjutsu require a fine chakra control and intelligence traits I'm sure I possess. As for my motivation, I believe it is a good way to help my teammates in a battle and make myself useful. Nice introduction, kid. How many times did you rehearse it in front of the mirror? 5 times, I mean. None. What I said come from the bottom of my heart. It's not smart amused. Sure, I believe you. What about you? She asked Ino. My name is Ino Yamanaka. I also think I have what it takes to be a medic. My reasons for wanting to be a medic is that ninjas are most likely known for killing, but I believe their saving lives is important too. And unlike Forehead Girl, I didn't rehearse this. Sakura showed her former friend a mysterious glare. A noble thought indeed, but who wants to go next? How about me? Karin suggested, raising her hand. My name is Karin Nazumaki. I already have an innate healing ability, so I think I could greatly benefit from learning medical ninjutsu. Tsunade merely nodded and looked at her remaining two students. My name is Hinata Yuga. That's Sorry about the noise in the background. Our maid is cleaning, that's all. Anyway, let's continue with our story. My name is Hinata Yuga. So you already know who I am, Hinata said a bit sheepishly. I think my Byakugan can help me being a great tool for a medical nin. Plus, just like Ino-san said, we ninjas should help people in way other than killing. Girls, you have no idea how much I wanted to get my hands on a Yuga. But the rest of them seems to think that there's nothing beyond the gentle fist, Strade commented. But then again, a tool is just as good as the person using it. Don't think that having a Byakugan makes you a medical ready. Of course not. Tsunade then looked at his last student, who took the hint and spoke. My name is Shino Abrame. Like Karen, I also know medical ninjutsu, but then again, our clan medical ninjutsu involves using our insects to repair our bodies, and thus Abrames are quite reluctant to be ill this way. And since I have an extensive knowledge of human anatomy, I believe I have a good base to learn maintenance and mainstream medical ninjutsu. Good to have somebody in my class with a Y chromosome. I don't know why most men are so unwilling to learn medicine. Tsunade thought, amused herself. Alright, now that introductions are over, let's get started. The first thing you'll learn is the mystical palm jutsu, the basic healing jutsu, and the one you will use the most. My knuckleheads of a son who has an average chakra control and zero aptitude for medical learned this jutsu in 2 weeks, so I expected you to learn it in less than one. Now, open your books on page 7 and read Link Break Chakra Flow Course Training Ground 8. Welcome to Chakra Flow Course. My name is Hiyate Gekko and I will be your teacher, the special Jonin said before coughing a few times. You know, I wasn't expecting this much people to attend this class. Hiyate students looked at each other a bit puzzled. They were Naruto, Sasuke, and Haku and Tamaki. Was Hayate expecting less than 4? In case you're wondering, last year I only got one student, a girl named Tenten. Do you know her? No. Oh, never mind then. Hayate coughed again. Okay, now I'll explain you the basics of chakra flow. Like the name implies, it consists in channeling chakra through a weapon that increases its power, as well as adding it another attribute. Now watch this. Hayate then tossed a kunai at a bullseye in the tree stump. The kunai pointed stabbed itself in the middle. Now watch what happens when I charged the kunai with my chakra before it tossed. He shot the kunai, which had faint blue chakra, and tossed it again at the bullseye. Except this time the kunai drilled itself into the stump, making multiple large cracks. Naruto and Tamaki opened their mouths in awe, while Sasuke and Haku merely nodded. As you can see, good chakra control is essential to master this art. What I did was chakra channeling normally. If you learn elemental ninjutsu, you can call your weapons in fire and electricity. Now take out a kunai or a shuriken. Yes, Haku, a senbon is fine. And try to do it yourself. Don't get frustrated if you don't get it in first try. Link Break, Elemental Ninjutsu Course Training Ground 11. As many teachers expected, this was the optional subject with the most students. All of them, actually, Ruka himself was the instructor. Behind him were 5 open boxes and the scrolls in them. The boxes were labeled with the kanjis of fire, water, earth, wind, and lightning. I'm glad to see all of you are here. You know already me and I know all of you, so we can skip the introductions and get down to business. Ruka pulled a sheet of brown paper from a pouch of his flick jacket. Does anybody know what is this? Yes, Naruto. A chakra limitless paper. It used to find out your elemental affinity. You channel your chakra in the paper and you can guess your affinity based on how it reacts. Iruka smiled. Very well, Naruto. I believe you have been introduced to the basics of nature manipulation, right? The teacher asked. Naruto proudly nodded. Does anybody else know the basic nature of chakra manipulation? Sasuke, Haku, and Hinata raised their hands. Okay, as you can see, there are small boxes behind me. Side boxes have some D rank and C class jutsus. Your task for today is to pick one and try to master it. The rest of you take the limitless paper from me and see what is your affinity. If the paper burns, then it is fire. If it gets wet, it's water. If it turns to dust, it is earth. If it splits into two with air and it wrinkles, it's lightning. Sasuke and Sakamaru, Choji, and Tamaki got fire. Karin, Kiba, and Shino got earth. Ino got water. Iroka-sensei, I think I have a problem here. Sakura said as he walked up to her. The teacher smiled. That's why I'm here. What's wrong then? It's just that my paper isn't something weird. Can you give me another one? Maybe one you gave me was defective. Ruka tilted his head, puzzled, but decided to comply with the pink cat's request and gave her another paper. After she channeled her chakra, once again the paper got wet, but then it crumbled into a paste. See that this is what happened before. Oh my. Ruka looked at the remaining of the paper in surprise. What is this? There's something wrong with my chakra? Iruka smiled, reassuring her. There's nothing wrong with it, Sakura. In fact, this is pretty good, huh? The paper got wet, indicating it is water infinity. Then it crumbled, earth infinity. That means that you have two affinities, which is extremely rare about outside the bloodline limit. Sakura, worried face morphed into a smile of triumph. Two affinities? Oh yeah! The pink cat pumped her fist in the air. Anybody know that? Alright, now that everybody knows their affinities, I will teach you the basic control exercises that you'll need to master before you can learn any elemental ninjutsus. Link break. Time passed. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, and before anybody realized, it was the end of the school year, which would mean the final year and final exam. Like the other exams, this one had written portions, which involved subjects such as math, physics, history, and geography. The ninja's portion consisted of showing the teachers the jutsu other than the 3 E-rank jutsu. Most people used their clan jutsu. Karin surprised Naruto with an Uzumaki secret technique called adamantium chains. Sakura used the chakra scalpels while Naruto taught her, and Naruto himself used a summoning jutsu to summon a little red toad wearing a black jacket named Gamakichi. Other two portions consisted of taijutsu spar against a teacher, an obstacle course, and tossing cone and shuriken against the moving targets. And lastly, there was also a small portion of each subject, an optional subject taken. All the students passed without much trouble. The position of Rookie of the Year, which was close between Sasuke and Haku, went to the former. Hinata was the top kunoichi, and Sakura being a close second. Ruka congratulated each of the students at the same time. He gave them their desired forehead protectors, signifying the fact that they were now real ninjas. He also told them to come back tomorrow to know their teammates and their joining senses. At the academy entrance, the 12 new ninjas were being congratulated by their families and friends. Naruto was a bit dejected that Jiraiya and Tsunade couldn't come, since they were busy at the moment, but at the very least, Shizune and the twins came here for him. Congratulations, Naruto-kun. We all knew you will make it. Shizune said happily as she patted Naruto on the back. I can't wait to show this to Mom and Dad. Naruto cheered proudly, pointing at the forehead protector on his head. It looks cool on me, doesn't it? Hey, can I see it? Hagane asked as he reached for Naruto's forehead. I want to see it too, Kaede said as well. Yes, but I asked first. But Naruto's Nissan likes me better than you. That is a lie. Naruto Nissan, you like me better, right? Enough, you two. You won't see anything if you don't behave. Shizune angrily chided. The twins shut up and lowered their heads in shame. Now come on, today we'll have special dinner celebrating your graduation. Yay, Ichiraku's, here we come. Naruto and the twins said in unison. I said somewhere special, not the place you go every day, Naruto-kun. Meanwhile, Hinata was also showing her forehead protector to her mother and sister. The entire clan will be proud of you, Hinata. Hikari said sweetly as she caressed her daughter's cheek. And top Konoichi nonetheless. Hinata-ne-chan, can I see your forehead protector? Anabi asked as she made puppy dog eyes. Hinata smiled as her sister and handed her the precious headgear to her. Of course, Hanabi-chan, you'll see how in no time you'll get yours too. Other than Konoichi, the Yugas was also showing her prize to her parents. See this? I'm real ninja now, and I'm almost becoming a top Konoichi. Not bad for somebody who doesn't have a clan, huh? Sakura waved her forehead protector in front of her parents. We always knew you could accomplish anything you set your mind to, dear. Kazashi, Sakura's father said, we're real proud of you, honey. Mabuki, Sakura's mother said as she hugged her. While Sakura hugged her mother, she couldn't help but glance at a certain black-haired boy who, like everybody else, was showing his forehead protector to the remaining of the clan. Rookie of the Year, huh? Just like your big bro. Shisui said as he ruffled the black ribbon's hair. I want to restore the honor to my clan, and by doing that, I will need to do my best in order to show the village what the Uchiha clan is made of. It was refreshing to see Sasuke's happy face once more. Now you have plenty of opportunities to improve yourself and the clan. Come on, we have to celebrate your graduation and the top of your class. Itachi suggested as he and the two other Uchihas walked away. Near Sasuke, Yuga and Hayate were also congratulating their quasi-adoptive son, Haku, who was showing them the headband. Really impressive, kid. It's a pity that you didn't become Rookie of the Year. But, oh well, Yugawa said as she patted his back. Thank you. Haku replied, smiling at them. Now, if it's not much of a bother, could we go to Hokage office? This is the proof that I can graduate, and thus the Hokage will have to release Zabuza-sama. That won't be necessary, Brad. A voice behind them said, as Haku knew too well. The ice ninja turned around and saw Zabuza, no longer wearing the prison uniform, smirking at him from behind the mask. Surprised to see me? Zabuza-sama. Haku cried and threw his arms at him, taking this swordman completely by surprise. You free at last. What the hell? Zabuza asked in shock as he held up his hands upwards, as if Haku was made of fire. Hey, big guy, why don't you try hugging the kid back? He had suggested, while repressing a cough. Maybe you even like it. Going against his better judgments, Zabuza awkwardly wrapped his arm around Haku and patted his back a couple of times. What the hell is this place doing to me? Link break. Undisclosed location. In an underground location, a vast man-made cave decorated with statues of snake. Three men were present. Two of them having a conversation while the third one listening intently. Two of them had silver hair, while one of them also wearing glasses. The last one was taller than the two other, had pale skin and long black eyes. The last one spoke. So tell me, Mizuki-san, what is your reasons to join our humble organization? Mizuki went down on one knee, looking at the floor. In front of the man who was immensely powerful, only rivaled by his greater ambition. This man was one that could give Mizuki all what he ever wanted, or he could end his life. Just like that, the former Konoha teacher had to choose his words carefully, because I believe that we're the same, Orochimaru-sama. Like you, I'm a man not bound by petty mortality. Like you, I'm a man that will stop at nothing to achieve my goals. Like you, I'm a man who wants to become stronger at any cost. And like you, I also left Konoha when I realized that the place had nothing more to offer. Orochimaru couldn't help but repress a smirk. You certainly have some guts, Mizuki. Comparing yourself, a mere teacher, to someone like me. Mizuki gulped. He needed to fix this fast. And at no point I said that we are equals, Orochimaru-sama, but that was we have similar mindset. That's all. That's why I believe that my place is at your side. Orochimaru chuckled. He certainly enjoyed watching the lower man squirm in pathetic attempts to make a good impression. Orochimaru could already made his mind. Since you can never have enough food soldiers or guinea pigs, he had decided to pressure him a little more, just for his own amusement. And tell me, what could you offer me and my organization to be accepted on it? Or our numbers might pale in comparison with the great ninjas, but even when we have standards. Mizuki smirked and reached in his bag. That's why I brought a present that I'm sure you will enjoy. Upon seeing the bag's content, Orochimaru's yellow eye expanded considerably. A look stepped forward, the forbidden scroll of the first Hokage. Orochimaru sat in awe, passing a hand through the much desired item. Then he glared at Mizuki. So it was you who had it all along. Yeah, I stole it during the Uchiha insurrection. They were too busy dealing with Uchihas that nobody thought about keeping the scroll safe. Stealing the scroll was a child play. Mizuki threw his shoulder back at pride. So that's why the scroll wasn't there when I went to steal it. Orochimaru calmly said, and suddenly all trace of color disappeared from Mizuki's face. And you took no less than 4 years to bring me it. Guess that the jutsu here were too complicated for you to simply mind, huh? Mizuki knew he was screwed, and not in the fun way. His skin started to sweat bullets. Stamping, he tried to find an answer that would save his skin. Sorry, I didn't thought that, Orochimaru's mouth formed a nerving smile. But you did bring me the scroll in the end. And like the old quote says, oh well, that ends well, right? So what are you planning? Aren't you going to punish me? No, Mizuki-san. In fact, from this day onwards, you're on a ninja of Otogakure. Since you were a teacher, I believe you'll have no trouble in training a squad of your own young recruits, right? Of course not, Orochimaru-sama. I'm eager to start working for you. Good. Kabuto, walk Mizuki-san towards his bedroom, please. Yes, Orochimaru-sama. The best respected ninja said as he and Mizuki walked away. Alone, Orochimaru couldn't help but stare in awe at the object in his hand. The very reason he wanted to become the Hokage to begin with. That would accelerate his plans. But he also had to be cautious with the Katsuki. It would do him no good if they realized that his scroll was in his possession. Link break. Tsunade sighed in relief when she finally arrived home after a practically long shift at the hospital. She hated missing Naruto graduation ceremony, but she simply couldn't leave in the middle of a delicate surgery which turned out more complicated than the initial diagnosis suggested. Anyway, at least she could give Naruto her congratulations gift. She only hoped that Naruto wouldn't be too upset about her. With this reason, the living room was empty, and as so much was the kitchen. She was about to go upstairs when a sound came to the backyard, caught her attention. And indeed, she saw Shizune in a light taijutsu spar with the twins, which immediately ended after her children and apprentice noticed her presence. Mom! Both white-haired kids said in unison as they rushed at her. Hey mom, Naruto-nisan is a ninja now. They even gave him a headband, Hagan excitedly commented as he tugged his mother's jacket. I know, I don't have any doubts that Naruto passed the exams without any trouble. Hey, now that you mention it, how is that you don't have a headband, Mom? Kaede asked. Sure it's somewhere in my room. I don't use it because I find it uncomfortable, Tsunade told her daughter as she ruffled her hair. Then she turned to Tsunade. Where's Naruto? In his bedroom? Was the black woman answer. And how is he? Tsunade asked. Feeling a bit uneasy, he was a bit upset that neither you nor Jiraya-sama showed up, but believed he understand why. I don't think he'll be mad at you, Shizune replied, turning to the sound reassuring. Tsunade sighed, then she couldn't completely relieved, at least not until he talked with her eldest son. All right, I'll go to see him and give him the gift. Gift, do you mean? Tsunade merely nodded. Linkbring, enter, Naruto said out after somebody knocked on his door. He had no idea who could be. And just as expected, Tsunade entered his room. Hi, Tsunade timidly said. First of all, I'm sorry for missing your big day, Naruto. Naruto simply looked at her and smiled. It's okay. I know that your work at hospital is important and sometimes you have to stay until late. And there's the Hokage, so that goes without saying. Tsunade smiled back at him. I'm glad that you're not mad at us. His son then sat at the bed alongside him. So you're a ninja now. How do you feel? Truth to be told, the same as yesterday. Soon you'll start taking missions. Are you nervous? A foxy grin appeared on Naruto's face. Of course not. This is what I was born to do. Tsunade couldn't help but giggle at the display. I'm glad that you're confident, that's good, but don't get too overconfident. That can get you killed in our line of work. Of course, you don't have to worry about me, Mom. That was a moment of silence. Tsunade kept staring at Naruto, whose smile never left his face for a single moment. Anyway, besides that, I also came here to give you a gift. You know, for finishing the academy and becoming a ninja. Naruto grew excited upon hearing the gift, as his mind raced through the possibilities. What is it really? Come on, tell me. Without uttering a word, Tsunade removed her necklace from her neck and placed it around Naruto's. All this enthusiasm from the blonde Jinchuriki disappeared, replaced by an overwhelming sense of awe. Mom, Naruto said in an uncrestedly low volume. This necklace is the first Hokage. Why? Don't you like it? No, I don't mean that. Naruto quickly stuttered as he hooked his hands in negation. It's just that, shouldn't you give this to Hakane or Kairi? The crystal has the chakra of the first Hokage, just like them. Besides, they're your real kids. Tsunade's expression hardened. She then grabbed Naruto by his shoulder, forcing him to look at her in the eyes. Naruto, listen to me. Maybe you don't come from my body, but you are my son as much as the twins are, and I will not let anybody see otherwise. Besides, with that necklace, now all my children have the power or chakra of my grandfather with them. For now, Naruto was at loss of words. Thank you, Mom. Tsunade's stern expression was replaced by a warm smile. You're welcome, kiddo. Now make me proud, as well as the village as well. You can bet I will, the Jinchuriki replied with one of his trademark grins. Link break. The next day was the academy. Ruka looked at the students, or former students, with pride. They were sitting on their usual seats, for what it will be the last time. The teachers was afraid that jiraya educational reform will turn to the slaughterhouse, and while many students ended up dropping out due to the increasing standards, these 12 kids persevered until the very end and came out triumphed. Turn out Jiraiya's idea wasn't so hard-brained. After all, the kids will be way more prepared for the future than it will be to the old model. Clearing the throat, Iruka spoke. I told you yesterday already that let me congratulate you again. It has been great having you as my student, but now somebody else will take your place. Somebody who will be able to teach you accordingly to your growing needs. You will be organized in 4-man cell, composed by 3 Genin teams, and a Jonin that will be your commanding officer, as well as your teacher. In the past, we used to make the teams based on grades. On the average, on each team would be more or less same as everybody else in order to have balanced teams. But Hokage-sama thought that this idea was stupid, so she suggested creating specialized teams based on the teams of its competence. Some of the people like it, others preferred the older system, but it didn't matter. It's what the Hokage wants and is what is law. And without further ado, these are the team formations. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I hope you like this one. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget what I said at the beginning of this video. Please let me know in the comments as well about your opinions. And this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out. Peace.